So the questions that I have are pertaining to the do now section, and the question was, do you have norms set up for the do now activity? Like, what are the rules and how should students behave and react to the do now activity? I just wonder if you have those established.
I have. Whether they follow it is pretty obvious that they don't. But at the start of the semester, come in quietly, get your notebook straight out. If the bell's rung, you need to have your notebooks out, or you're not on time. So I've kind of set that structure up. But then again, because it's so unfocused, the level of unfocusedness, because like you said, there's only 3 of 17 writing. I'm not really been sure how to handle the behaviors, how to get them in, if that makes sense.
Of course it makes sense. Yeah, it definitely makes sense. So do you have those norms posted, and did they participate at all in developing the norms?
At the beginning, yes. And then as we go along, it just seems as the weeks go by, and then, with the weird weather, they've kind of lost it.
So are they posted in the room, the norms for your different kinds of activities, for do now, for note taking, for warm-ups, for sectionals? Okay.
No.
The reason I'm asking is you really have 4 very distinct parts of your day, and I know that fluctuates from day to day, but at least for the day that I observed. And the do now and the right note-taking activity, really, I'm going to come back to structure. And you need to revisit norms again. And that's going to be one way that you can address this, is just let's revisit our norms, or let's establish norms. And your norms for one class period might be completely different for another, based on the dynamic of the group. What can we agree upon in the group to make sure that the do now stays within the 10 to 15 minute block of time? I believe you scheduled it to be 10 minutes. And that we accomplish what it is we're trying to accomplish with do now. Okay? I think it's important for students to recognize the importance of the do now, and that it's not just time for the teacher to take roll, time for us to send off some last minute text messages to friends, time for us to eat a little snack. I mean, they have to really know that do now part of your day is important to the learning outcomes of your day. If they don't, they will never take it seriously. So having that structure built in will really help them to see that. And so one thing you might want to do during that time, now you're going to need some non-negotiables on your norms. Like, these are the things that have to be on the norms for the do now section. Now, can you contribute to things? Because listen, guys, here's the overall outcome of do nows: to either connect you to prior learning, or to spark your interest into the new learning of the day. That's the point of a do now, a warm-up, or a bell ringer. They're called different things in different rooms, but that's the main point. And for you to formatively assess their background knowledge from prior experience, or in review of maybe some things they learned yesterday, to reconnect them, to hook them back to the new learning for today. And they need to know that that's very critical to the success of the day. And you've got to follow that up with some consequences if they don't fit between those parameters. Now, you're not going to be able to walk in today and say, okay, we're just starting over today. You'll have to massage it for a while. But massaging it doesn't mean that you don't stick to your norms. You massage it by saying, when you walk in every day, when the bell rings, I'm going to set a 4-minute timer. When the 4 minutes is over, when you hear the bell go off, is when your paper should be in your lap and you should be responding to do now. Okay?
Okay.
Another way to massage is to go over the do now with them before they start it.
Okay.
Because right now, the dynamic of the class, they're not independent enough to come in yet. You know that. To get started and be fully participate and be on task. So what I mean by massage is use the little tricks to kind of keep them focused, keep them structured, even during the do now activity. I'm going to type all this up for you, these suggestions,
Okay.
in an email, so you don't have to go, what in the world did she say? But onlinestopwatch.com, you throw
There's
the
some
stop.
for the smart board.
Oh,
this time,
it's
yeah.
they're perfect.
Mhm.
You set that little whatever you can live with. If it's
Okay.
a 4-minute, sort of get yourself in here, put your cell phone. The cell phone usage needs to be on the norms. That needs to be a non-negotiable. There's a lot of cell phone usage going on in the classroom, a lot.
Yeah.
Cover, and so, and you can tell them when you're establishing the norms. Here's why the use of cell phones is not allowed in this classroom. Moreover, it's a district rule. It's a district-wide rule. If we can't abide by the norms, I'm going to ask for your cell phone when you walk in the door. We're going to drop them in a basket every day.
Well, I
That's
thought about having a space like maybe on top of the piano.
Somewhere where, if it comes to that, and so
Okay.
we're going to start today, and then in a couple of days, if there's any breath of a cell phone, we're just going to do it until we can get a little more independent and mature and can handle cell phone usage. But again, we're going back to the structure of every chunk of the day, and those are just some really small tweaks that can make a huge difference.
I'm glad you said that because I've been the whole last semester. I'm like, why is it not working? You know what I'm saying? And it's the structure part of it that I'm lacking. So
Yeah, and I'm
I
saying
didn't think
that
about
you're
it
not
that way.
I'm not saying yes that you're not structured. I just mean
But it's
that
a different way.
we're
that-
all teachers are faced with the same thing. Even the smallest things that should be so simple have to have structure. Now, once they're mature enough to handle that 10-minute do now, and they're disciplined to work during that period, then you may not have the clock. But I always kept my clock up. I mean, they loved it. I might even have somebody to come up and drive the clock every day. You know that eager beaver that shows up every day, and I'd say, look, you're in class first every day. Can you just drive my online stopwatch, get it set for me? There you got a student leader all of a sudden. Student leaders behave great in class. And you might do that very strategically for some of the folks who tend to be off task often. Okay.
Okay.